Hello, so I just wanted to
Hello.
upload a little video of Maggie's training and where she's at and showing you how exactly I handle her and work her in different situations. Maggie has a very good, very high level of obedience, so a lot of getting her to show this same level of fluency with you is going to have to do with your handling skills. So she fully understands everything I'm asking of her. She does very well. She's very enthusiastic. She understands all of her tools, her markers, her commands. So a lot of it is just going to be, your timing and consistency. When the dogs are this far along in their training, they have a very high reward history. We've taught everything with food, so everything is a very valuable behavior to them. We like to throw a lot of difficult distractions at them on purpose to help build some commitment to those behaviors.
No.
So this is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm walking all the way around the kennel building. I'm making sounds. I'm getting close. I'm moving excitedly. I'm even offering some food. And the objective is for her to stay in the kennel. That's all she has to do. So I can make all the sounds. I can do anything I want aside from saying her name. So I just remain very calm, very neutral with all of my commands, markers, everything like that. So as soon as she steps one paw out, no, stim, and with the kennel, I am holding the button until she goes back in. And then if I throw a difficult challenge at her and she does good, I'll tell her good and I reward her.
Good. Free. Heel. Heel. Free. Maggie.
So if it matters to you, this is how I would address the jumping to get the food from your hand. Just as soon as she jumps, the food moves away. If she sits still, the food comes to her.
Heel. Heel.
The main reason I wanted to do this video is just to show that she is very proficient in her behaviors. So a lot of the time, she's just getting away with doing certain things, and a lot of that happens because we're not being consistent enough. So our job as dog trainers is to be very consistent the entire time they are here. So every time we're going to a door, we're stopping and sitting. I'm opening the door, and then I'm freeing the dog when I'm ready.
No.
Every time we are
Heel.
walking, we are in a heel. Every time her nose goes to the ground in
Good.
heeling, she's getting corrected. If we sometimes don't have a leash on her, don't have her e-collar remote on us, then she is able to rehearse behaviors that we may not like, such as jumping. Because if she's able to get away with it 10% of the time, she's going to keep pushing. She goes, you wouldn't let me do it yesterday, but you're letting me do it right now. So maybe tomorrow
No.
she's going to go,
Heel.
maybe I can get away with it now. Or I know that when we're healing at home, you hold me to a high standard and you make me do everything correctly. But then maybe if we're healing somewhere else, you're not making me sit and stay at the door anymore. She's going to start to, especially as a young, energetic dog, she's going to start to push boundaries. She's going to see what exactly the standard is that you are going to hold her to. This should be her standard. Doesn't need us to say her name 5 times and beg her to do a behavior. If she's eating something on the ground and doesn't want to recall, and we just keep begging her to come back without showing her consistent reinforcement with both rewards and punishment, she's gonna look at you and she's gonna go, why? Why would I do that? This food on the ground is rewarding to me, and you're just gonna keep begging me to come back, but I don't want to.
Heel.
So I just wanted to show like how minimally you can communicate with her. So in this session, I really just use her commands, her punishment marker, which is no, and her clicker. Now I will also say that dogs learn in pictures. So she knows this yard very well. She knows this yard is where we train every day, and I'm held to a very high standard here every day. She knows how to work around all of the distractions that are in this area. So she's going to do better here than she's going to do it in new environments. And that's why keeping up with the consistency is super important, so that when you take her to a new environment, you can show her those same expectations, and it will help her succeed. So in newer environments, we're going to use a lot more rewards, but we're also still not going to let her get away with whatever she wants, right? New pictures are going to be challenging, but we can work her through them. I know I yap about being an advocate for the e-collar a lot, but it's because it really builds a lot of integrity. It builds her commitment to stay in behavior regardless of whether or not she has a leash on, regardless of whether or not you're holding her leash, regardless of whether or not she's on her prong collar. It's a way that we can always hold her to the same standard, even at a distance.
No. Heel.
If she is anywhere around the house, anything like that, right? We can very clearly set boundaries. And I'm not saying, go let her off leash and just use her e-collar right now, but you can have a leash on her, but use your e-collar for your corrections. That's what I like to do. So there's a leash on the dog, so I can't lose the dog, and I'm following laws, right? When I take the dog in places and walk them to around parks and stuff like that. But the leash isn't what I'm using for communication. The leash is just a tether. The e-collar is much easier to be consistent with, and it also gives you a wider range to work with. So, in some situations, maybe around the house, a 15 will do. Maybe we're outside in our front yard and a 25 will do. But now we're out in public and we need a 35. Or she is in a situation where she needs an emergency recall. We could double that if we needed to save her life. If she needs to see some reps of consistency where maybe she's out somewhere and there is something or a situation or people that are really distracting to her, the e-collar makes it much easier for us to, maybe do like 5 reps where we just walk back and forth on a straight line until she's paying good attention to us. That e-collar makes correcting her much easier, much faster, and just more clear than if we have to walk back and forth and pop her prong collar every single time.
Maggie.
Maybe one correction isn't as effective. Maybe your leash was in a weird spot on a different one. Just little things like that.
Sit. Sit. Puppy, puppy.
And make sure you're pushing her at home. Make sure you're showing her distractions. Make sure you're working on things that you know are difficult for her. Maybe like the jumping, like try and be wild, encourage her, like pat your legs.
No.
Set her up for situations so that
Maggie,
you can
sit.
Be in a good spot to take care of it when you are ready. So if you're working on a session where you know she's going to jump, you'll have your e-collar, you'll be prepared to do everything with good timing so that, you know, it's less likely to happen when you're not expecting it. And so that when she does see, you know, maybe more challenging distractions out in public, she's seen more distractions with you. In the beginning, we set the dogs up for success always. We want, when we're teaching, we want everything to go successful. We want it to be great. We want the dog to be enthusiastic. We don't want to have to punish the dog early on. That's not fair. But once the dogs are doing really well, we can, you know, kind of start to set them up for failure a little bit so that we can proof their commands. So when she's healing and I drop a whole bunch of food on the floor right in front of her on purpose so that we can work through those things.
Heel. No. Heel. Good. Heel. Yeah. Good. Heel. No. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. 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 Heel. Good.
This is our first time working together in Lowe's, and Lowe's is a very busy, very distracting environment. So she was doing really well here. Good. Something else you'll see me do is when the dog fails at something I ask of them, I will go back and reset that same situation and give them an opportunity to do it correctly. So say we're coming up to the door and I stop and she's supposed to sit.
Good.
Instead, she gets super excited, she walks forward, she goes through the door. I say no, correct her, remind her heel, and then I will do a little circle moving away from the door and then coming back to the door again and setting up for that same situation. Because now she's been corrected for it, but now I'm showing her that we are not going to make that forward progress and you are not going to get a reward until we do it correctly. So something else that dogs value, aside from, you know, praise, food, stuff like that, is forward progress. Dogs like to go forward, they like to move, they like to do things. If every single time we're going up to a door and she's not stopping when I stop, she's going to go, oh, this sucks. I want to go. I want to move forward. I want to go into the store. I want to see. Well, you decided you were just going to go in without me, so now we have to go back. Now we have to go do a little loop and come right back to the door and do it again. Typically, on the second repetition, the dogs will be successful, and then we are able to not only have them rehearse doing the correct behavior, but being able to reward it.
No. Heel.
So this is the kind of stuff I mean. There, I tested her on purpose. I saw
Good.
that she was distracted by something behind her, so I tested her obedience. I came to a stop. The more little instances like this that you're able to work on, the more reliable her obedience will be. She'll be thinking about you and thinking about her obedience more. Because now she got corrected for being super distracted and leaving position. So now even when something's distracting her, she's going to think consciously, oh, I still got to stay in obedience. I still got to pay attention. And this is fair to do to a dog like her. She is mostly pretty confident. She is driven. She is excitable. With a dog that is super nervous, a dog that is very insecure, maybe aggressive, I wouldn't go right to correcting them all the time for getting super distracted by something. She is a dog that can be corrected for these things. It's not going to shut her down. It's not going to make her think people are evil.
Good. Heel. Good. Hi. Good. Sit. Good.
What are you gonna gain by nothing?
Sit. Good. Heel. No. Heel. Good. Good. Good.
Can you speak to her?
Huh?
Can you speak to her?
She's busy. She's training. Good.
Okay.
Heel.
She's good.
Good.
Beautiful. We love babies.
No.
I see you in
Heel.
your house.
Yeah.
Is that what you do for a living?
Yep. Not my dogs. Good. I do pet dogs. I do behavior modification. I've done police dogs. I do sport with my dogs. Pretty much everything under the sun.
How much is it?
Heel. It depends on. Yeah, sit. It depends. But if you want to check it out, I work for Airborne. It's like 15 minutes from here.
My daughter has a Rottweiler. She's one now.
So I don't always entertain these conversations. It depends on the dog that I'm working with. Maggie is a dog that is ready for this challenge. She's not afraid of people. She's not weird. She can work on staying in her obedience. And while, yes, I am having a conversation with someone, 90% of my focus is on Maggie. I am like barely listening to what this lady is saying.
Yeah, I don't like.
And I'm really not even giving her eye contact. When I'm working with dogs, all of my attention is on the dog. I am watching them the entire time.
I like your name. It's a fun name.
I am honestly using this as a training opportunity.
Good.
The way that, like the shape on the top of the head. Isn't that cute? That was
Yeah,
just
she is
braided
cute.
and,
She's a good dog.
What's her name?
Maggie.
Oh.
Good. Yeah, you are good, Maggie. Heel.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Good. Good. Good.
Dog training is a very nuanced thing. So if, there's a situation that's a little bit more challenging for her, or maybe she's a little unsure of something, I'm going to give her a little bit more guidance. I might remind her to heel once, maybe twice. I'm going to feed her a lot more. I'm going to, help her through situations that are harder. So that interaction where I was speaking to that lady was more difficult for her, so I fed her a lot more often. And then when we were leaving the encounter, she foraged, she came forward in her healing, so I reminded her, and she got back, and it was good. If I have to tell her to fix her behavior and she doesn't, then I will correct her. And then, like, right there, leaving the building, that was a much more challenging situation. A lot of people, a lot of sounds, carts, there's a lot going on right there. So I'm feeding her more frequently.
Good. Good. Yes. Yeah. The fun girl.